Hello, welcome to Blood Moon Oracle tonight. Tonight we are doing a reading that's going to delve into advice that may be coming in right now with your current situation. We'll be taking a look at the advice coming in, the type of advice, the type of advisors that are around you right now. And then it's starting off with your spirit animal. I have three different decks that I have pulled from, three different spirit animals that we'll be talking about tonight. And so before we get started, I am going to um, show you the spirit animals that we are dealing with tonight. And we'll take it from there. Okay. Welcome. Like, share, comment. Let us know how you like the readings. If anything resonates, if you have questions, you can definitely hit me up at my email at lettyspeak@gmail.com right here. Okay. You can stop by and say hello. How you doing? Let me know how you're doing. Yeah. Or you can comment below. You can always comment here on the actual video as well, okay? And so we are going to get started here and make yourself at home, get comfortable, right? We will be taking our time with this reading, right? It's a beautiful night, a night just to hang out and vibe. All right, so let's get started. Let me get comfortable. So our first card is going to be the Buffalo Spirit. Hope you can see that. The Buffalo Spirit. I'm going to actually put a picture of them, each of these animals, the spirit guide animals, as the actual picture on the face of the video so that when you come in, you'll have an idea of what it looks like a little bit better. I'm far from the camera tonight, and so it may be difficult to see it. But we're starting off with number one, which is the Buffalo Spirit. Now, the Buffalo Spirit is a number 10, right? So it could be a significant number for you. Tens do represent endings. Along with endings come new beginnings, right? And so it could definitely represent new beginnings. But the card itself talks about the abundant universe providing for us. And so it's all about provision. And it's a reminder to open up with the energy of gratitude and thanksgiving to like the extraordinary abundance available to you. It all starts with our mind, right? We do talk about a lot about mindset on this channel. It's all about our mind and how we think of, our situation that many times will determine how we're able to pull in what we need and what we want. And so this is really talking about the buffalo spirit. The buffalo spirit is a beautiful example because as we look back, this particular animal was one who was very significant to ancient tribes. And the buffalo was a symbol of abundance because it represented a resource. And it was an animal that actually was pretty far and widespread, right? It roamed very far and wide. And then it provided so much from meat to rawhide to bones. And those who hunted it were very sacred in their dealings with the buffalo. And so they really tried to find a purpose for every part of this animal, showing their thanksgiving and their gratitude for, this provision. And so this is like the kind of energy that we have the opportunity to, exemplify too, from the fact that understanding that we will be provided for many times even more than what we're asking for if we're really looking at what we have realistically. And so this is all about an opportunity, I feel like, for abundance and to reframe our thoughts around that if need be. That will align with our needs, our wants, our desires. Yeah, and it could be around anything: love, money, inspiration, It could be around support, right? It's all up for the taking. And so this is all about aligning with the truth that we live in a world that's very abundant, and setting our intentions around that and watching things happen and unfold for us. This is what the opportunity is here for Buffalo Spirit. And so this is an opportunity again to shift our mindset from a poverty consciousness, if that's where we are. If not, then keep vibing high, right? But if it is, your spirit guides want to guide you into a place of thinking of things in terms of abundance, which is really what the situation is, reframing your thought. And if for some reason you find yourself thinking on the other side of that, which we do, it's easy to slip back into the negative side of that equation. Just quickly remind yourself, no, I live in an abundant universe, and I am connected with my abundant creator, right? It's just reframing that mindset and remembering that, okay? And so buffalo is the spirit animal that's coming in for you, and this is number one. The energy that I pulled was the Fool. And so the Fool could talk about the fact that there is this new opportunity to look at things this way. There could be an actual situation that's being presented for us to take a look at and make sure that we're entering into this area with this abundant mindset, because it's going to make all of the difference here. It's going to make all of the difference. My light is acting weird. But the Fool says that there is an opportunity here coming in towards you right now. And your spirit advisors want to make sure that you are prepared mentally to accept this, that you are positioned when it comes to how you're thinking about these opportunities coming towards you, to make sure that you are aligned mentally to welcome these opportunities in. Because it's all about how we're thinking about a thing, whether it's going to be successful, whether we allow ourselves to even experience these opportunities that are coming in. This may be something that represents adventure for you. This may be a new start represented here for you. Yeah. This could be you possibly having the opportunity to go in a completely different direction, right, than what you've experienced thus far. And your spirit guides is pointing to that, okay? And so your first spirit guide is the Empress. Your second spirit guide is Judgment. Your third spirit guide is Death. Your fourth spirit guide is Strength. And then your fifth spirit guide is the Chariot, okay? And each of these represent an archetypal advisor. They each bring a different energy to the situation, a different point of view, and a different focus, okay? And so for the Empress is really focused on nurturing. The Empress focuses on abundance, success when it comes to business and dealing with business aspects, and then creativity as well. And so this new opportunity, not only is it an opportunity coming towards you, but there's some things that come along with this opportunity. And your spirit guides want you to be aware and focus on these different aspects of this opportunity coming in. When it comes to these things, the Empress is very fertile and is very creative, is very flexible when it comes to entering into situations and creating the most out of them, right? I feel like there's a sense of um, creativity that the Empress is emphasizing here as one of your spirit guides. And being uplifted and bringing warmth to this situation as you connect with everything around you. There is a connection that the Empress brings in being connected with everything. She's aware of her surroundings and she is tapped in and tuned in and connected in that way as well. She brings a very pure, a very strong, motivated energy. And I feel like the Empress is bringing the message of new um, birth, right? The Empress many times talks about giving birth to something. It could talk about a pregnancy, but in this situation, there's something you're giving birth to with this new opportunity here. And the Empress wants you to focus on that there's something new being born here, right? This may be different than anything else that you have experienced. It may not, but it's a new opportunity to bring something new into being here. And the Empress brings that focus. Now, when we look at the Judgment, the Judgment is a spirit guide that is my light. It just keeps dimming. I don't know why it's doing that. The Judgment brings in the energy of transitions and reincarnation, right? It's almost like digging up something valuable that you now need again that may have been buried in the past. But it also talks about birth, but it's something being rebirthed, something that's been birthed already, but it's being rebirthed. And so the Judgment, the advisor, your spirit guide is actually asking you to bring something back up. You know, if there was something in the past that you became very acquainted with or very good with, you may be being asked to look back into that because you may need that here where you're going. There's something about your history that may be necessary as you move into this new energy that your spirit guide is pulling out right now. Now's a good time to really tap into yourself. This might be a good time to meditate, to listen to your inner voice, because it's through that energy that you're going to find the confidence here. The Judgment, I feel like the spirit guide is also pointing to some kind of awakening that may be taking place here. To anything that might be challenging this forward movement, anything that might be holding you back, the spirit guide may be pointing to that energy here through the Judgment. To be aware of this, to be ready to face this and to confront this so that it does not hold you back from this opportunity. The Death card comes out here as well, which is also about transitions. But the Death is more along the lines of transformation, transforming something, change, an ending happening, which also brings in the new beginning that leads to this 10 for the Buffalo spirit. This is also about recognizing the mortality that is very much a reality for us as we look at this. And this is really being able to make peace with change, which is constant, right? And so this might really point to your spirit guide letting you know to be ready at any moment for change to come in. Always be ready to move to the next step, to move forward, right, in a possible direction that you may be being led. I almost feel like it's keeping your bag packed just in case it gets time to move. Always be ready to move forward. The Death is really a symbol of transformation. And it's always coming with some type of alert or some type of warning. This also feels a little bit like the Judgment, being willing to release things that may be holding you back when it comes time to moving forward to make that change. If there's anything that we're holding on to that may not be able to be brought forward, this is like really understanding there may be sacrifices needed here, is what this advisor is advising through your spirit guide, and being willing to be inconvenienced, being willing to face things like discomfort or even sometimes the pain of separation, right? As we move towards the future, this advisor coming through your spirit guide is just letting you know to be ready for these things. Again, the Fool talks about going in a whole new direction, which obviously means that there's going to be a turning away of some things, right? And so I feel like through the death, your spirit advisor is just talking about profound change that may happen through this process, to be ready for it. That as you're creating these possibilities and moving towards them, you're allowing this change to happen, right? And allowing it to happen without fear of the unknown or without fear of having to sacrifice something as well. The strength comes in, and the strength brings the energy of resilience in many ways, of digging deep to attain that deep level of courage that lies within, the passion, the virility, the confidence, the inner strength. This is definitely a fire element. And I feel like through the strength, you're advising, coming from your spirit guide, is kind of to understand your power, right? And in understanding that, it doesn't always mean that it has to be this forceful nature, right? It can actually be something that is controlled and measured. And I feel like that word virility kind of describes what I'm trying to point out here. It's like not always having to be forceful, but sometimes you can just stand in, what it is that you know to be true and be just as powerful. And you can do it gently too, as long as you stand in confidence, right? And so there's something here about being confident and being willing to do the work to stand in that confidence. This is the energy of having mastered, right, your ability to connect with your whatever it is that you're working with, your skills, your abilities to connect with what it is that you feel confident about, the higher frequency, the channeling, even connecting with a level of respect, and not letting it go to your head, but just being confident in that, right? And what you bring to the table. Because this energy coming forward that's being pointed out by your spirit advisors, this is where that balance comes from, and this is what brings in, as we look at this bird balancing on the lion's nose, there's like something here about confidence, the fact that this bird is able to stand on the nose. There's something here about mutual respect. There's something here about learning something, how to do something and mastering it, feeling confident in it. I do really feel like your advice coming through here is to master yourself, know your limits, be confident in what it is that you're able to do. Not egoic, but confident, right? Overcome any fear, right, that may be threatening to hold back progress. I feel like the advisor through the strength coming in through your spirit guides is hearing your inner guidance and your higher consciousness that overrides any fear, right? As you delve in and reach for that confidence in yourself, because that's where your true power is wielded from. Yeah. And through that, you also are required to summon the power that comes from exercising inner peace and really freeing yourself from the influences of those energies of ego and fear, right? And so there's something about feeling confident, being willing to, do the work until you feel that sense of confidence where you can trust yourself. I always feel like this talks about cycles, being able to go through and learn something over and over as many times as needed, until we actually get it right, until we feel confident, until we have it down, right? There's something about just striking up inner strength and passion about this until you have it down. Lastly, we have the Chariot, which is kind of like the same energy. It's almost like self-empowerment, determination, willpower, drive, and success. So the guidance coming through here, I would say, is all about being strong and determined and unstoppable. I feel like this particular card really focuses in on the tenacity that's needed to do anything, to really delve out into a new direction and trusting yourself. And not only that, trusting that you will be provided for on that path. Okay. There's a bit of fearlessness here as this bird is riding through the storm, through the sky fearlessly with strength. While it's thundering, the clouds are roaring, yet it's flying victoriously. And so this is your spirit guide, really focusing in on confidence again and knowing where you're going and that you are without a shadow of a doubt going to get there. Yeah. And it really asks you again, this is kind of aligning with strength here. These two guides are really focusing in on summoning up this power, right, to do the difficult thing or the hard thing when it comes along. And so I feel like this is just letting you know and preparing you for difficult parts of this journey that will arise. Nevertheless, the fact that the strength came out in the Chariot says that you have the power and the strength to overcome any of these difficulties, right, in a way that will be profitable for you. And so these guides really focus in on self-empowerment and belief, trust, and courage, and, having a self-belief that you're able to do these things. And the reason why you can feel that way, the guides are saying that it's because you've done the work, especially with strength. Strength talks about doing the work, right? Therefore, you can stand in the position because you've done the work. And so this is being victorious and unstoppable, knowing that you are. Now, when we look at the practical advice coming from your spirit advisors, first we have the Seven of Wands coming out. And the Seven of Wands is all about, well, let me just set them all out. We have the Seven of Wands, the Two of Wands, the King of Wands, see all these wands, the Ace of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. So all wands and pentacles. So this is all doing and being. This is coming in as the advice from your advisors. The Empress, the Judgment, the Death, the Strength, and the Chariot. They are advising here. First of all, the Seven of Wands, which talks about the ability to stand, to be very aware of where you're standing and to defend where it is that you're standing, defend your territory. As we can see, the bird is up on top here, very much in a position that others are still trying to get up to. There's something about you standing in a position that is obviously one that has been earned, right? This gives me the energy of this not being something given to you. You've done the work and you've earned the right to be there. And so your advisors are guiding you to guard this. Yeah, to guard it. Because what we don't tell you when we make it to our goal, or when we finally make it to where we've been working so hard, many times we're not the only ones working to be there. Sometimes others are working in the same way. It's not always this way, but I'm hearing sometimes there will be competition and the idea around others trying to knock you off of the mountain that you worked hard to get to. And so there's a level of guarding this and being aware even of the motives of others, right? Because there may be others that may attempt to take your spot, right? And so when you are working hard and when you do get, accomplished in different areas of your journey, understand, especially what we're talking about here, that there is a need to protect it, okay? And to stay in that self-confident energy, especially when challenges arise. And so understand that you weren't just given this. You earned the right to be here, okay? And so do not allow anybody to come and knock you off of the spot that you've worked really hard to get to. That's what I'm hearing your guides say. Now with the Two of Wands that comes in here, also, they're holding two wands between them with the earth on the top of the wands. I get the energy of the advice being around balance and holding, your position with patience. Something about sometimes feeling like you're maintaining the world on your shoulders and being able to balance that. But it takes skill to do that and to maintain that focus and that balance. This is about you being able to venture out and set out to actually fulfill your ideas that may come in, and create paths to success. The Two of Wands is all about choosing options and choosing which path that you'll take to success. And so there's choices here that's coming up for me in the advice, talking about opportunities possible to travel that may be coming up here, maybe even needing to be ready to make difficult, life-changing decisions as well. Because we're talking about a new experience. So you may have a couple of different choices that come up here on which road that you will take as you set out on this new experience. Because the Two of Wands really urges you to get out of your comfort zone. Okay. And so your guides are wanting you to step out of your comfort zone because there's something waiting. That's why the world is sitting on the top of these wands. The world is waiting for you, dear. So get out of your comfort zone is what your guides want you to do. The King of Wands is also coming in as advice. And the King of Wands brings in the energy of a mastery around these wands, around the doing energy with intuition and creativity and action. It is rather unstoppable action here with the salamander here and that infinity sign that we see a few times in your spread. I see it here on the Strength card. I also see it on the Two of Pentacles as well. But the King of Wands comes in with this very fluid energy. It's almost like an entrepreneurial spirit that can actually take a concept and just run with it, fly away with it. And the King of Wands brings in a level of mastery as well when it comes to transforming ideas and taking it as far as possible. And there's an energy of really aligning with that Chariot of this relentless pursuit of perfection, many times that the King of Wands carries with a very laser-like vision too. The King of Wands has a very charismatic energy and is kind of like a natural born leader and is able to really have a really clear vision when it comes to what's needed to accomplish a project and bring it into success. And so this is the advice coming in from your guidance that's talking about really tapping into the entrepreneurial energy, allowing your creativity to work for you when you are taking these ideas, not to be afraid, right? There was something here about perfection, right? But you only get to perfection by making mistakes, by doing things over and over and over, by not giving up, by being creative and resourceful. And so there's something about using everything that you have, right? Using everything that you have for the fire. Okay, the King of Wands is a pretty special energy. This is somebody that you want on your side when you need to get something done, because the King of Wands more than likely has done it. And so I feel like your guidance is around preparing yourself for all kinds of, opportunities to experience pretty much everything under the sun, right? The Ace of Pentacles coming in here. And there's a lot that's being uncovered here that you are preparing for. I feel like the guidance coming in from your advisors with the Ace of Pentacles is all about seeing what's coming forward for you. There's something being revealed here through the Ace of Pentacles. And this is all about everything that's available to you, the abundance that is at your disposal. That for some reason you may not have seen. Maybe there was something blocking it, but whatever it is, it's getting unblocked, and this will be made available to you. And you're going to see it, and it'll no longer be blocked, and you'll have clarity around these things, and you'll have the opportunity to choose, whether or not this is what you want. Whatever this is, you're being advised to stay focused, because the law of attraction is happening here. That means whatever it is that you're thinking, whatever it is that you're entertaining, that's what you are manifesting. And so this Ace of Wands says that you're being given a specific opportunity, and the guidance coming in from your advisors is to stay focused, really, right? Choose what you want and go after it. Don't let anything get in your way. This is that important. Keep your sight on the prize once you declare it, okay? And the Ace of Wands goes straight into the Two of Wands. So no longer is it a single sight. This is actually going to turn into infinite possibilities. You see the infinite sign that we were just talking about? You may, in fact, have the opportunity to do many things. As I was saying with the King of Wands, prepare yourself, because this is going to be really a huge opportunity coming towards you. And you'll need to be ready. You'll need to be focused. You'll need to be stable, balanced, clear-minded. You'll need to be ready to dig into your courage, into your strength, right? And allow yourself. And so the Two of Wands is really being just preoccupied and constantly in motion, even to the point where you might be even at times juggling things of interest or things that you're going to commit to, right? Your guides want you to be prepared for what is coming. And so if things are very slow right now, enjoy it, because it may not be in the past. It may not be much longer. You'll be possibly devoting to more than one thing, but having to remain in balance too, right? And so this is just a little tidbit about being ready for this that's coming in, because whatever your daily tasks are right now, this is not a trade-in for your daily tasks. This isn't for your daily tasks. This is an add-on. And so whatever you're committed to right now, there's more being added on to that. And so make sure that you're balanced and committed to doing that. So what's added will be an add-on, right? It's going to add on. And so just make sure that you are balanced and focused so you don't fall off. Okay. This is all about maintaining your responsibilities and management. Okay. This is about time management, energy management. Like, if you're going to accomplish big things, there is a necessity, there's a requirement to knowing how to manage money, resources, time, energy, right? Management is non-negotiable, okay, for where you're going. And then we go straight into the Three of Pentacles, right? From the Ace to the Two to the Three. So there's this progression that you are being guided into, okay? And so the Three of Pentacles now takes you into collaboration, right? After you have opened up to new opportunities with the Ace of Wands and become aware, then you learn to balance what's on your plate as you open up to these new opportunities, not throwing away the old responsibilities, but adding on and managing now this stability and this balance that you've been dealt, that you've chosen, right? And now that you've balanced that and it is managing that, now you're open to collaboration, to expansion, right? Threes are about creativity. And this is the Empress talking here. Now that we are ready, now we can start really building new structures, right? And this possibly will be having access even to higher levels of, rewards as well. And this is the encouragement of your guides, letting you know to not stop at the two. Now that you have, managed to secure and balance and, manage your time, now we can actually look into developing new skills and working within group dynamics now for a common goal to get even bigger results. Okay. This will require some patience though, because it feels like there may be a vision that you have that will lead into you needing like more resources, even more assistance to grow this at that level. Or maybe you're not even aware yet. Maybe you're not knowing that this is going to actually continue to grow. And so this may indicate bringing in some form of like a mentor for higher levels of development too. But whatever that entails, this says that it's going to be successful. Your advisors are telling you to just prepare for this. Okay. This new direction you're heading into, and know without a shadow of a doubt that you will be provided for, whatever it is. Okay. All right. So that was the reading number 1 for the Buffalo. And I will be back as I prepare reading number 2. Right. I am back. The next spirit animal is the cat spirit. The cat spirit. Claim your independence. I love this one. Claim your independence. And so for whoever this one is for, the cat spirit brings in a message calling to you to claim your independence and allow for some space. If you feel led right now, your guidance coming in from your advisors could be around you giving yourself some space, to develop your independence, your space away from others so that you can grow, right, into a healthy sense of self, respect, and worth when it comes to yourself, and learn to really be proud, like walk in your dignity, knowing who you are and being self-aware and willing to grow in areas that are necessary right now, and really trusting in what you bring to the table too. And when we learn to do that, your advisors are saying that we will mirror that. And that's what will pull towards us as well. Especially as it pertains to situations that will place us in, any type of codependency or enmeshment where we lose parts of ourselves. But this is a time to really practice taking risks, allow yourself to wander into new territories, kind of like a cat, right? Think of the energy that a cat has. It's very curious and it roams, right? When it's allowed to. But this is also a time to face possible unpredictable situations. Don't hesitate to take risks right now. And understand that even in stepping into new territory, or even I'm hearing relationships for some specifically, you've come to a place now, your guides are wanting you to know that you can trust yourself. So even if you end up in the wrong spaces, in the wrong connections, you trust yourself enough now to know that that's not for you. And so there's no need to be fearful, right? As these opportunities open up, and allow yourself to kind of be curious about some things. The cat spirit is saying, go for it. Okay. And so there's something about your instincts being really keen and on point right now, and just trusting yourself, right? Not that you won't make mistakes or you won't have failures, but even those will actually bring you to certain successes, right? Just trusting yourself right now and embracing adventure right now. Okay. So, and that was the cat spirit for whoever this resonates with. I feel like this is really a level of growth, a moment of growth, of stability, even in, building sure foundations. It's a 13, which is a 4. And so 4s are really all about stability. It's about groundedness. It's about, dependability. And so the actual, I think the lesson right now is around strength here. It might be an opportunity as well coming in here, but it's all about strength. And for this one, I do feel like your guides are, really guiding towards this powerful yet gentle influence that you have, that really carries this heavy level of discipline, of knowing what you have, not having to, go and rage it out at everybody. It's almost like just carrying that with a sense of humility, right? Knowing your strength, harnessing the energy, that you have within, and being able to use it responsibly when it's necessary, just kind of knowing that you have it. Not feeling like you have to always default to like this forceful energy, but you can utilize strength through gentleness as well. So there's something about knowing your power, right? That's coming in as an opportunity, that's coming in as a lesson here. And so coming in through the advisors here is Lovers coming out. I know you probably can't see these. I'm so sorry because I'm far away from the camera here. I have the Revealer, which is actually the High Priestess. I have Death here. I have Judgment. And then I also have the Hermit. And these are all coming out as your actual spiritual advisors that's coming in. And so these are the energies, the archetypical energies coming in to give the sense of the focus here, ways that you can apply this energy, the strategies. And so first of all, we have the Lovers coming out. So when we look at the Lovers, we're talking about healthy connections, balanced connections, harmonious connections, and trusting, loyalty. And this is almost like a harmonious union that happens here. And so um, it could also talk about partnerships as well, but it's a high level partnership. This is not just any old kind of connection. This is really something very spiritual at its core, and very integrous too. It could be business, it could just be partnership, but the connection is one that is very fertile and mutually beneficial. It's reciprocal, it's balanced, it's healthy. And so the energy and the focus here is to establish connections this way. This is the focus, is to connect with, you know, energies and resources, people that actually can see, right? From like the same thing that you can see. There's um, a soul level connection here. And so this type of connection thrives on the balance of, you know, the freedom and the vulnerability that it gets to experience. And this is definitely something to be nurtured. And so the guides are saying that if you're able to establish these types of connections, this is what you are looking for here. Okay. And it doesn't mean it's love. It could be. It does not have to be. It could even be a business partnership of some kind. These are the type of connections you're looking for. High vibing connections are what you're being guided to. This is the type of focus that's coming in and what you're looking for. This is what should be, you know, the energy that you are looking to invest in and to connect to and to nurture. These types of connections are going to bring a lot of joy. Okay. And so the lovers, this is the guidance that's bringing in very high vibing connections. Okay. And if it's not, the guide is to steer away, right? Because you're looking for something that's high vibing, reciprocal, something that you can be open and vulnerable and trust, something that you can trust. If you don't trust it, that means there's a need to do a little bit of investigation around that connection. Okay. And the revealer coming in, high priestess comes in as well as one of your advisors, bringing energy around your intuition, unbiased energy, inquisitive energy, and seeking. And so the revealer is the name of the high priestess. And so this is understanding, the focus here is understanding that there is a need to seek for truth. There's a need to heed to the call to explore, okay? To know. Not only that, to not be afraid of a challenge. Be ready to take account for what it is that you understand, what you stand for, what you believe, opposing views to those beliefs. Be ready even to give an account for that with the high priestess here. This is the focus that the high priestess brings in. And this is really an energy that focuses on insight and experiencing both the light and the dark. There's nothing hidden, right? The high priestess is very tapped into both sides of the veil. Very refined as well. The high priestess also stands in a place of neutrality, right? And there's been like through the experiences, there's a point of view that's been cultivated in the high priestess, and the focus is no longer on one way, right? The dogmatism has been exchanged for an open mind through the high priestess because there has been an experience, there's been an opening to knowledge and to know what was once hidden, right? And so there's like endless mysteries that is available to the high priestess, and there is a guidance to go in and seek those things, okay, to explore and be as open, stretch your grasp as wide as you can and be open to what is revealed. Okay. There's also the energy of compassion that is carried for the high priestess as well. And so this is the guidance that's coming in from this advisor. You could be a high priestess. You could be someone who has intuitive gifts. Yeah. And those come through in many different ways as well. Very open and tapped in. You could be, someone that holds a lot of secrets, like whether or not you share with others. There could be, just a knowing that you keep to yourself. People around you may not even realize that you are, in fact, tapped in that way. But you could definitely be a high priestess. But this is the energy that's being guided in from this archetypical advisor. Okay, this is the focus, some of the advice on things that's going to be helpful for you. Okay, the death comes in as well for you. The death and the judgment came in the last one. So this could, in fact, the strength did as well. If you haven't watched one, that one may resonate for you as well, if this one is resonating for you. Now, the death brings in the energy for this archetypical energy. We're dealing with endings, being ready to change at any moment in time. Big changes, not just any change, and also being ready to possibly make sacrifices with these changes. Also, understanding this element of time. There's a focus here that this archetypical energy focuses on the element of time and the fact that it is always coming to an end. It's like we're on borrowed time, right? It's not forever, right? The concept extends to the fact that we deal with endings and loss. There's no way around that. Whether it's relationships or having to give a piece of clothing away that's now too small. Endings come in many different ways. And so this is really guiding you to understand that this is a part of life. There's something about this experience with the cat spirit and you really stepping into your power and understanding your power with strength, that there's certain elements of life that come to an end, and being willing to deal with those and being open for those transitions, not fearing them, because fear can be crippling. It can be destabilizing, but it's welcoming those in and understanding that there is a beauty in transcendence and transience, right? Whenever there's an ending, there's also a beginning right after that. And there's no need in trying to control whether or not something is going to end. Rather, enjoy what is now. And when the time comes to release it, be open so that you can also receive what's coming next. There's something about that here, being willing to accept endings here. And it's, really taking the most and making the most with the time that you have. There's something about time here and really using the time to the best of your ability. For someone, there's something here about time right now. And so this may be a moment your guide is really digging in on being appreciative and appreciating what you have or who you have. It could be right now, who you have, because time is not forever. I'm hearing that. Instead of trying to freeze the time so the ending does not come, enjoy the time that you have right now. It's almost like setting this experience, this beautiful experience for this time, especially if you know an ending is coming, and kind of turn it into like a legacy, right? There's certain things that we can set in time. We can't make time stand still, but memories will always be with us, and we can set legacies that will pass through time. There's something about that here that your guides are bringing forward here. And then judgment coming out as well, bringing in the energy of, for this particular deck, this archetypical guide focuses on forgiveness. It focuses on responsibility and then again, rebirth. There's something here about really understanding the importance of accountability and how that really is a beautiful act of love that not only helps you to grow, but it also helps the person that you may be dealing with grow as well. There's something about it being like a two-way, a reciprocal exchange, whether it's shared or whether it's held back, right? It affects both individuals if it is more than just you. And so there's something about needing to open up our understanding from just our experiences and trying to understand someone else's, and turning, instead of judging, turning that into awareness, right? It's not always that we have to judge the situation. Sometimes we are being given an opportunity to witness something, to be aware. It doesn't really call for judgment. Sometimes it just calls for awareness. And that allows it to actually turn from a judgmental situation into something more loving and more kind. In that same way, this energy that the guide is bringing in, they're asking you to think of times where you've actually been judged and remember how that felt. And if you are to deal with that in the future, there's no way to really make the person who's judging you respond in this way. You know, all you can do is really brush it off and really focus on your own growth. So there's something here about judgment that's coming forward here. And just being responsible for your own judgments, right? There's something here about judgment that's coming up by your from your guides here. And so there may be something that is being brought to the light here, because the qualities of being able to stand in a neutral position, I feel like, is coming to the forefront. There's something about needing to know, needing to witness, needing to see something. But it's not about judging, it's about witnessing something. There may be some enlightenment that you'll be given that wants to be shared with you here. And so whatever that is, so as we move forward here in the future, if there is something that causes you or tempts you to judge it, instead of judging it, just stand back and witness. Just be aware. Just observe and see. Take information. There's something about that here. And if you are the one being judged, don't sweat it. Just let it roll off your back, okay? There's something here. There's something valuable that your guides are bringing up about this. On this bullhorn, there's a key. Almost feels like there's something that will open up here, that you're giving entrance into something behind the door, some secret information or some secret experience that you'll gain here. Lastly, we have the Hermit, which is a very interesting card in this deck because there's a wasp or a hornet, a wasp or a hornet that's flying towards a candle. It's just very interesting. And this Hermit card brings in the energy of retreat and recuperation and inner self, like introspection. And so the focus here is all about refocusing and recuperating, even, retreating. This has something to do with really acquainting oneself with the light and the dark elements of self within, right? This is not looking outside of yourself. This is about working within. Along with that working, there's some level of possible findings of things that may need forgiveness, especially those things that we perceive about ourselves that are negative. There's a need for forgiveness and acceptance in those parts, to find beauty in those parts of self. This may involve some getting out into nature. That's part of the focus of the Hermit, is going out away from the noise, right? Getting out into nature and reconnecting our bodies back to its source, the earth. The earth is our source, reconnecting back to that. I guess the wasp, it's a wasp. It actually symbolizes the beauty that's revealed when we remove fear. And this almost feels like fear of judgment. And so this may work with this Judgment card, like possibly being in a position where we will benefit from going within and taking a look at what's happening on the inside. Claim your independence. There's some forgiveness possibly that's needed. Self-forgiveness. These are the archetypical energies that are coming out here. After going into that place of going in and examining, and if you find anything dark, forgiving it, there's some element of coming out with some information. Your spirit guides are saying that you will come out with some information. There could be something that you've been looking for, searching for some answers, and you've been asking. That answer will be given. I feel like it has a lot to do with this Judgment here. Possibly releasing something, placing yourself in a position of neutrality. When you look within, it could also be when you look outside of yourself too. And then examining self. When you go within, it's almost like a light is going to turn on for you, okay? Now, all of your archetypical guides brought in some advice. We have the Lovers again, the High Priestess, the Death, the Judgment, and the Hermit. And the advice that they brought out was the Champion of Wands, the Apprentice of Vessels. I think the Champion of Wands is the Knight of Wands. And then we have the Page of Pentacles, the Crown of Swords. I think that's the King of Swords, the Six of Swords, and the Nine of Wands. Okay. And so the advice coming in. So first of all, we have the Champion of Wands. Yeah, the Knight of Wands. And so again, we're talking about wands. So this is doing energy. The advice coming in from your advising energies. the guidance coming in around the Champion of Wands is to allow yourself to be spirit led and to go after things with purpose. Allow yourself to go and do, to fly. But there is a bit of advice around doing that. Like, harness the passion without like allowing yourself to do too much without discipline. There's this balance between passion and, discipline, not being so passionate that you just go on a reckless, endeavor without any guidance or any discipline or any planning, any structure. There's a balance there. And so your guides are saying, yeah, allow yourself to be free and go after what it is that you desire to experience, but also remember balance, okay? Because whatever it is that you are seeking to let loose, right? These passions can come in many different ways. Like, it could be an unfolding of joy that wants to be expressed. It could also be an unfolding of anger that needs direction to be effective, right? It's almost like it needs to be channeled, excuse me, not challenged. It needs to be channeled. So that could come in as a challenge, right? Channeling that energy so that it can be effective. And I feel like your guides are saying that that's passion. That's what's fueling your passion, which is a powerful thing. We're talking about the lion here. That's a powerful thing, but it needs to be channeled, okay? It does need to be channeled. And then we have the Apprentice of Vessels, which is the Page of Pentacles. In the picture, she's doing clay on a pottery wheel. And so it's working with your hands. It's very tactile energy. Your guides are wanting you to work with your hands, to pick up something and it could be working in the dirt to ground, right? Something earth-based to allow yourself to get the benefit of connecting with earth. Yeah. This is representative of you allowing yourself to be molded and malleable and soft, willing to be loved and moved by compassion for others. And so this is talking about like a very raw and romantic and fierce vulnerability when it comes to your heart and the foundations lying there, to master them as you connect with others. There's something about your guides not wanting you to lose that ability to connect with others. That judgment there. Like, when we get hurt, it's easy to put up a shield and never allow ourselves to be touched again. But there's something about your guides wanting you to work with the earth. There's something about working with the earth that's going to help you release so that you can open up again and allow yourself to be touched. And I don't mean touch like a physical touch. I mean allowing someone to connect with you, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to allow someone to connect with you. And when you get hurt, it's not saying that you won't be hurt anymore, but there is a way to allow yourself to experience that, but not allow it to turn into bitterness. There's something about the heart space and understanding the power of it. It's stronger than we realize. And it's also malleable and soft. And so there's something about returning back to that that's going to be beneficial for you. And so for some, this could be about love. I do feel a lot of heart energy here coming out in the advice. And so allow yourself. There's something about working with earth here coming in for the guidance. Okay. So if you do any type of pottery, go and get your hands dirty. If you do any planting, any farm work, any, working with the soil, Spirit wants you to go and get your hands dirty. Okay. Go out and walk barefoot on the grass too. Okay. Touch the earth. That's what I hear your guides saying. Okay. We also have the Crown of Swords. And that is the King of Swords, the Master of Wisdom and Fair Judgment. And let me see. And this was not, I thought vessels were pentacles. It's not. It's the Page of Cups, heart energy. I'm sorry. Page of Cups. And so go create is what Spirit is saying. Is what your guides are leading you to. And so the Crown of Swords is all about the mastering of wisdom and right judgment, expanding knowledge into understanding, like not just getting information, but actually getting an understanding of the information so that you can actually translate that with authority and with compassion as well. Also allowing you to make better decisions when it comes to responsibilities that you may have, being willing to be open and ask for guidance when necessary, seek wisdom, especially when it comes to making big decisions that affect others or that will be part of some type of huge change. Yeah. The King of Swords. So you're being guided to continue learning, but in your learning, get understanding, like really become acquainted with what you're learning and the knowledge that you're pulling in. So if you are someone who has hidden wisdom coming in, especially as a high priestess, this is really a need to not just get information, but actually understand what it is that you're being given. Because there is a responsibility possibly to share it. It's what I'm hearing from your guides. There's a possibility to share it. And before you can really appropriately share it, there's a need to understand it too. Because that is going to make all the difference in how you share it, how you present it, owning it, right? And so there's something about that here. Managing the knowledge and sharing it and the ramifications behind what you're sharing, okay? There's some huge purpose around sharing knowledge here. Yeah. And then we have the Six of Swords coming in as well. I love this Six of Swords. It has a butterfly across this bridge of swords. And the Six of Swords, we already know, is all about moving on and maybe starting again. It's a mental adjustment, right, to something that is more healthy for you. Possibly even finding strength and finding courage, taking the responsibility to do what is best for you and your mental health, especially as it pertains to moving away from things so that you can create your own personal space, even creating your own personal rituals or ceremonies that will solidify truths for you. Okay. There's something about your guides talking about preparing a space for yourself. This might be like some great rite of passage for an escape away from something that has not been healthy for you. You're being given a rite of passage to move away to something that is healthy for you, that will be empowering for you. Okay? Creating your own space. Your guides are saying this is a call to attend to that. This bridge, it feels like a movement, an invitation to move, right? Maybe this is something you've been thinking about for a while. Your guides are saying yes. This is something that has been needed. Okay. Lastly, we have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands really is the advice around being patient and not letting the weight and the work fool you into cashing in early, right? It's real easy to get really impatient after doing a lot of work and exerting a lot of energy, but this almost feels like there's a right time and a right place as you sit and wait for that divine time to come. This might mean that there's something that is being prepared for you. There's like a ripening that's happening. And if we pick the fruit too soon, it'll be sour, like it won't be sweet, it won't be soft, it won't be juicy. But if we wait and not pick it too soon for the lack of patience, right, it'll be rich, it'll be sweet, sweeter, right? Something about understanding all the work that you put in here. This Nine of Wands is lots of work. And the 9 is the point right before the end. It's almost over. Your advisors want you to know that you have put in so much work and it is seen, it has been documented, right? And you will receive a reward. It's very close. This is for someone, but don't give in, okay? Because you are very close to the end. It's worth the wait, is what they're saying. And yes, you may have been the one that took a little bit longer than everyone else. But still, be patient. Because everyone has their own journey and their own timing. They have their own paths. And so don't force anything, is what I hear your guide saying. Like divine timing is at play here. For someone, this could be about this Six of Swords, about moving away. This could point to a divine time where that will be absolutely obvious. Okay? Make sure that you are tuned in and tapped in. The High Priestess is here. Make sure you are hearing correctly. It's okay to ask. Is that what I think I heard? Okay, well, let's do it. But there's something here about claiming your independence. Spirit is saying it's time. It's time. And for someone, things are about to wrap up and come to an end. Your new season is just about here. hmm There's some advice around healing and opening up and trusting yourself to be open again. Some hard work, some being balanced in how you move. It's not just all about the passion, but it's also about balance and discipline and planning too. It's also about getting an understanding with the information that you're getting to making sure that you are doing things in a correct way as well. And giving yourself permission. This is about that as well, okay? So this is about courage, believing in yourself. This is about you no longer being this little baby kitten, right? You have become the lion, the strength, the powerful one that doesn't actually need to be connected to anyone or anything. Claim your independence. You have everything within, okay? And that's for whoever chose the reading number 2, the cat spirit. This is the energy your advisors around the cat spirit were bringing in for you. The lovers, the revealer, the death, the judgment, and the hermit, okay? All this wisdom coming out for you. All right, that was number 2, and I will be back with the last reading, okay? All right, and we are back with the 3rd reading tonight. We have the porcupine spirit. Number 48 could be significant, which turns into a number 12, could be significant, and also turns into a number 3. Okay, and the porcupine spirit talks about a time for a beginner's mind. And the beginner's mind is talking about you being in a position, in an energy, willing to adopt and approach situations with the mind of a beginner, right? Kind of like with a curiosity, a level of innocence and non-judgment. There's something about old stories that are just no longer having a hold, and approaching life as if it has just lots of surprises, lots of things just hiding in plain sight, and looking at the world with fresh eyes. There's something possibly that is being sought after here, maybe a new experience. Could be around relationship. It could be an opportunity. It could be some type of evidence that you've been looking for that you need right now to kind of step into this energy of what it is that you desire. And the porcupine spirit is really asking you to have this kind of childlike mind, kind of like a playfulness, like a curiosity, because there's so much that's waiting for you to discover. Now, along with porcupine spirit, there is a need to understand that this also warns about being prickly, being defensive. Maybe you have been a little lately. Maybe assuming that there's something here that will hurt you or harm you in some kind of way. Give me 1 second. I swear my battery it goes out so fast. I am back. I have to plug my computer in. And so, yeah, there's something about being a little defensive or assuming that you'll get hurt before even realizing the truth of a situation. Maybe there's some old energies that are re-arising. And so whatever that is, this is just inviting a time of curiosity, of being open, right? And so the card that came out around this lesson or this opportunity was the Three of Swords. Ouch. The Three of Swords. So this is around someone's pain. There's something that um, maybe even something prickly, prickling you. But there's something here about possibly having an opportunity to experience something new if you're up for it, right? But there's a need for healing in the situation, so that you are able to experience this. It feels like there could be some level of pain that could be possibly even preventing, if it's not healed or addressed or acknowledged or seen for what it is, it may possibly prevent you from having this experience, this new beginning, this new mind, right? That would allow you to experience something new. Let's see what your advising archetypical guides will have for us here. We have the Empress here again. We have the Hierophant, the High Priestess again, the Sun. Again, this is a lot of returning advisors from the first and the second reading. So if you haven't watched the first and the second reading, go back. Those may apply as well. We have the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hermit again. Okay, very familiar energies here when it comes to our archetypical advisors. So first of all, the Empress coming out here, bringing the advice of being open to your own power of creativity and being able to birth something new, a new experience, a new, project, a baby. This baby doesn't have to be like a literal baby. It could be birthing a business, a project. I feel like whatever that is, though, it's your ability to birth it is what the emphasis is. The focus is on that you are fertile, right? Everything that you touch gives life, right? The Empress brings in that energy. I feel like the guides are focusing on that. This very creative, magnifying, this magnetic energy that you carry, right? And that will be like something to be known, something for you to understand about yourself, that you carry this kind of energy, the Empress. And that you don't have to go out and like fight your way through things. Like because you carry this very magnetic energy, you can sit back and demand or ask or allow, that things that you need, things that you desire just come to you. It's all in the posture, in the energy. It's very feminine energy, very nurturing energy, very inviting energy, being open to receiving. I feel like that's a beautiful way to put that, especially when it comes to the healing that's needed to have this new experience. There's the need for a beginner's mind, which means that there may be a need to heal some things so that we can be open-minded and receptive, and receptive in a way where we're not defensive because we're thinking that something or someone's going to hurt us. So there's definitely some healing here. We have the Hierophant coming in, which brings in the energy of possible spirituality in some type of way. If you have a connection, or however you connect with your source, this could lead to that being part of the solution where you're being guided. This energy is definitely talking about source. So we look at this looks like a medicine man providing some type of healing modality or some type of ritual here. There's something about spirituality being part of the focus, right? There's a need to look for assistance, right? Possibly in the area of um, belief. If you have a higher belief or a connection with your source, there may be a need to look in that direction here. Establish some type of um, attempt to make a connection in regards to this. This is acknowledging a higher power, a higher source. This could be institutions, right? Some of us go to institutions to, implement our beliefs. However, that comes across. This could be an advisor, a spiritual advisor, you seeking guidance in some type of way. But it's saying that this energy is really an energy to give some focus to, some thought to, and this may be offering some type of beneficial qualities for the healing process during this time. Okay. The high priestess coming out as well, which is again that energy of beautiful balance between the light and the dark, the seen and the unseen. The high priestess is really very balanced because she is tapped in both on both sides of the veil. There's a lot that is known by the high priestess, and there is not a lot that is not seen by the high priestess. And so this has a lot of information that may be available and useful here. But the thing with the high priestess is trusting it, right? You can have a lot of information, but if you don't trust it, then it doesn't, do a lot of good. The energy that the high priestess brings in is a focus on trusting what you know, and trusting yourself, especially as information comes forward. A lot of this information is not known until you get it, but it's trusting it. Okay. Being able to trust yourself too. One of the messages, I think this really applies to number 2. So I do suggest you go back and watch the first and the second one because those could resonate too. One of the things that came up in the last 2 messages is as we delve out and have these new experiences, there's no need to fear. Fear came up in both readings, but if there is a strong connection with self and we've learned how to trust self, it no longer becomes such a big focus on the fear of things outside of us, especially when it comes to experiencing new things or experiencing new connections. When we come to a place where we trust ourselves and we know ourselves, then we can have new experiences that aren't fearful because we trust that we'll know whether or not that's for us. And if for some reason it's not, we'll know that. And it'll be easy to just say, hey, this is beautiful, thank you, but it's not for me, And so there's something here about the high priestess that brings in that focus of really trusting what you know about yourself, trusting your own inner guidance and your inner nudges. And so for you, the guidance coming in was through the actual Empress and the high priestess. So there is a lot of connection that comes through these 2 archetypical energies. The Empress is really outwardly connected. She's very aware and connected with her. And not only is she connected, but she is very divinely connected. It's almost like an energy where you can command, right? It's that kind of connection. The high priestess is more intuitive, more knowing behind the veil, things that are unseen and seen. But hers is more, this energy is more not tangible, like the Empress. The high priestess is more spiritual. And so the fact that the Empress, the Hermit, the Hierophant, and the high priestess came out, this is a tremendous amount of spiritual backing, right? You are just very heavily supported here, right? I feel like Spirit really wants you to delve out and step out of this wounded energy, whatever this is that will keep you from stepping forward and having this new experience through the spirit porcupine. There are things that has been set and planned for you. There are things on your path that spirit wants you to experience and has moved hill and high water just for you. Okay? Yes, we've been hurt. Yes, it's been painful. Yes, we have some wounds to prove it. But that's not going to stop us from experiencing the dynamic happiness that is also on our path. It is said that to the extent that we're able to feel pain, we're also allowed to feel joy on that exact same opposite level on the scale, right? So if you've experienced a vast amount of pain, you can also experience a vast amount of joy as well. And the sun comes in to remind you of what's waiting for you. As soon as you step out of this energy of the Three of Swords, this disappointment, this fear of failure, this painful, memories of being disappointed and possibly mistreated, whatever that is, the sun comes in as an archetypical energy to let you know that these experiences of joy are also on the same timeline, on the same path, right? After the darkest night always comes the brighter day. And the sun is really focused on enjoying life, enjoying everything that you have in life right now. If you have children, grandchildren, those are blessings. Like the fact that you're able to see the whole next generation, that you're able to meet the whole next generation is like beyond a miracle, right? It's beyond the fact that we think it's just something so practical and everyday, but it in itself is something just to be celebrated. The sun says, look at your life in the grandest view that you can and celebrate it. Be happy about it. Every moment that you have, every gift that you've been given, celebrate it. The archetypical energy of the sun brings in that energy of this very joyous celebration around life. The most simplest things. I don't think it's a mistake that they put sunflowers on here. I love sunflowers. I think they're like the best thing since bread, But it's taking simple things like a sunflower and just realizing its magnificence. The sunflower actually, it has seeds that grows, but the sunflower itself has so many different levels. By looking at it, we don't even realize how complex the sunflower is. But it's a very complex flower, and it has so many different levels and dynamics to it that we don't see just by looking at it. It looks pretty, but it actually really is a very diverse and deep flower. But it's taking those simple things like that and balancing out this pain by allowing ourselves to experience the grandest level of joy, even in the most simplest things, right? Spirit has some beautiful things waiting for you, and your guides are showing you this right here and letting you know that we got you. We got you covered, right? So much so that we're even able to let you know what's happening all around you, what's on your path, right? Even as you are traveling it, we're even willing to let you know that, right? I do feel like this is, about love. It's about the trials and the triumphs around connections. That's obvious here. Someone allowing themselves to get back out there and finish the story. I feel like your guides, your advisors are just really saying here that your story is not over. It's not over, okay? There's so much more that's coming in here. So much more beauty that's coming in. So the Lovers is really focused on balance, high integrous level connections that are reciprocal, that are harmonious, that are balanced and grounded. This could also be from a personal standpoint, you finding that balance within yourself between your divine masculine and your divine feminine, and allowing that to create this sense of wholeness in you, a happiness in you, even before you even experience the happiness with someone else. You have all of that already in you. But I do feel like you're meant to share that with someone else, but it happens in you first, right? The Wheel of Fortune, all of the support that you need, all of it. The Wheel of Fortune brings in the energy of focusing on, things unfolding in divine timing, and knowing that they are going to fall, where they need to, but it's going to fall in your favor. The Wheel of Fortune is all about the energy of luck. It's all about the energy of, if you believe in karma, right? But it's not just bad karma. This is good karma too. The energy of karma says that what you put out is what you get back. And so if you're someone who really loved from a heart space, then you can expect that back. Okay? You can expect that back. That's what the Wheel of Fortune is saying. And I feel like right now you are in a good place where things are actually unfolding in your favor right now. So if there was any time to take a risk, right now is that time. Your guide around this Wheel of Fortune is saying, this is your time to bet on yourself, to risk on yourself, and to step out. By stepping out, I feel like that's where the healing is going to really take place and solidify. By you trusting yourself enough to step back out there and say, let's do this. I'm not going to allow anything that tried to take my joy to keep it any longer. It's time for me to reclaim my life and my joy back, right? Yeah, it's just one decision away. There's a lot of healing coming in with the Hermit around finding the light within you. The Hermit really focuses on internal introspection and finding the light within, finding the answers that you would necessarily sometimes seek outside of yourself and feel like you can't do without. But the Hermit comes to remind you and point you back inwardly, because it's all within. And then when we find that within, then it shows up on the outside, right? And so the Hermit comes in bringing the energy of healing, focusing on searching for answers within, because you have it all within, right? It's always been there. All you have to do is look within. And so that's the focus that the Hermit brings, is this very deep spiritual search of finding answers. But along the way, you find some very important aspect of self too, that actually adds on to this strength that you carry, this belief that you have in self. So things are really working out here, but you have to allow yourself to trust again. To step forward in this beginner's mind. Go back to the moment where before you got hurt, right? That's your beginner's mind. And if you are able, allow yourself to erase all of the things that was done. Keep the lessons, but erase all of the things that were done, and allow yourself to go back to that beginner's mind of being curious. There's a song that's coming to my mind right now by the Foreigners. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. Going back to that purity around love, what did that feel like before you got hurt? It's almost like a child that's exploring the world. They don't know what pain is until they touch the fire, or they touch the stove or the iron. They have no concept of it. Your guides are saying, allow yourself to go back to that position, but keep the lessons. But go back, allow yourself to do like a mental reset. Okay, let's see what the advice is. So we have the Two of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, the King of Wands again, and the Six of Cups, and the Three of Wands. Yeah. All right. So the advice coming in from your advisors are the Two of Pentacles, which is all about the point after discovering this opportunity has come up. Now it's time to move into doing and allowing yourself to get busy, and mingling with these energies and these opportunities, stepping out, actually making decisions that will move you out of the energy that you've been in. Okay. I feel like your guys are also saying there may be a little bit of action happening in the future. So get ready for a change in pace as well. The Two of Pentacles brings in the energy of busyness, possibly even having to juggle, right? This may bring in more than one opportunity, to step out into this energy. The Ten of Wands gives me that same energy of busyness and possibly even entering into a season here as you move forward of feeling overwhelmed if you don't take care of yourself. The Two of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands says that there is a need to balance your time, to balance your energy, to balance your resources, especially with the Two of Pentacles. Like, there's going to be an abundance of opportunities, but the responsibility is to stay balanced as you step forward. Okay. That's the advice that your advisors are bringing out here. The importance of balance and planning. Okay. It's going to save you the hassle of being overwhelmed and possibly burned out here with the energies coming up in the future. The Eight of Pentacles is coming out here. This has something to do with work. I don't know if this is some type of opportunities arising at work here. I do get that with the Eight of Pentacles and the King of Wands. This almost feels like an opportunity coming up where you'll be able to either have more responsibilities, prepare for opportunities of advancement that will also come with raises, right? I almost feel like this could be even having something happen at work. Something happen at work. And of course, this would have something to do with the energy of giving yourself an opportunity to step out and experience something, trusting yourself, believing in yourself. And so if you have had issues arise at work that cause you to not really, step out of your comfort zone. It doesn't always have to be because you're afraid. You just may not want to be bothered. It's like, I ain't got time for all that. Like, it's too much to get involved with. But there's something about this spirit wants you to, because you have a lot of gifts in that area, the King of Pentacles, and they want you to use that. The Eight of Pentacles, you put a lot of time, energy, and effort in perfecting and honing your gifts when it comes to your work. And so there's opportunities that's coming out. The spirit wants, your guides want you to take the chance to step out, to look at things from a renewed lens, from with a fresh pair of glasses. Because the opportunities here are going to be definitely beneficial for you. Even if it means looking back into the past and thinking of the good things to encourage you. It's not all bad. The Six of Cups says that there's some good things that you remember as well. Let that be part of your deciding to step out again and try this again. And then the Three of Wands. This is motivation to move you forward. Expansion. For somebody, this may also be allowing yourself to travel. These opportunities coming up may be around traveling or even moving to another location, possibly. But taking this chance on yourself, whether this is love or not, it does have something to do with work. And you tapping into your skill sets, they have something very important to do with your future. There's something that you've been perfecting and working on. You put a lot of time and effort and energy into it. Well, that has something to do with where you're going. Spirit, they're saying that you didn't do all of that for nothing. We have a plan for that. Yeah. There's a plan. And so there's no pressure to have to make anything happen. I feel like it has all been set out for you. And part of this is you allowing things to unfold for you while you manage your time and your mind and your resources and your energy, right? Allowing things to unfold so that you can receive them. Okay. Yeah. So if you feel like it was over before you started watching this, it is not. That's clear. That's what Spirit is saying. It is not over, right? It ain't even began yet. Okay. There's still so much that Spirit is wanting to show you and have you experience, right? You've experienced the worst of the worst. Now they're saying, let us show you the best of the best, okay? The best of the best. There is absolutely a plan for your future. Three of Wands is moving forward, expansion, growth. And look at all this yellow. This is good energy. Outweighing the past. I don't feel like all of the past was bad. The Six of Cups says that there's some good memories in the past. It's not all bad, right? And so allow yourself. This is a time for a beginner's mind. Allow yourself to go back before you start experiencing all the disappointments and the letdowns. Remember what that felt like to trust yourself to have this experience. It's not even so much about trusting others. This is about you trusting yourself to have this experience, right? Yeah. Yeah. And so this is the third message, the third and the last. Porcupine Spirit is guiding you to a time of a beginner's mind where your guides are saying, we are not done with you yet, right? It's time for us to show you the other side of that wheel. You've seen the worst of the worst. Now let us show you the best of the best. I did get a lot of energy around work, but I also got a lot of energy around love too. And it could be both. Those could be intertwined here. Okay. But the point is, everything that you've been through are purposeful, and it's going to be purposeful for where you are going. There is a plan for all of that. Okay. It was not for nothing, is what Spirit is saying. We have a plan for that. And so your advising guides are saying to allow yourself to receive. And trust yourself. Understand the value of what you have, what you know, who you're connected to, your connections, and the fact that there's balance in everything. So yeah, you have had some difficult times, and maybe you've been stuck for a while. Well, we're here and we're ready to help you get unstuck so that you can continue to live. Because, honey, it ain't over. It's not over. Okay. Right now, the focus is on balancing within yourself and understanding that you are in a good position right now, that nothing has taken place that wasn't supposed to. I'm even hearing them say that. That it would be beneficial and it would do you really well to even take time to introspect within yourself, to answer those questions within yourself. You have the answers. They're there. And they also said, we're not going to allow you to be caught off guard. Mm-hmm. I feel like all three of these messages are intertwined too. They're very much intertwined. But I feel like there's a lot of wisdom that has come out of your experiences that have led you here. The Hermit says that. The Hierophant says that. The High Priestess says that. And the Empress as well. There's lots of wisdom here. And the message that they're plummeting in is that you are safe, honey. You're safe. Step out and continue living your life. You're safe, okay? Thank you so much for stopping by. This has been beautiful. We are at 2:10. I think this is the longest message I've ever done. And so thank you so much for stopping by. It's always a pleasure reading for you all. Like, share, comment. Let me know how it resonates, if it does. I'm going to post all three of these pictures on the front so that you can see them. And I'm also going to put timestamps so you can jump between them, okay? They all were intermeshed together. I think they were all connected. But maybe one resonates more than the other. I'll leave that for you all to decide. Thank you so much for stopping by. It is always a pleasure to read for you. Blood Moon Oracle here, and you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you for stopping by. Okay? Bye.